Labradoodle puppy peekaboo. That's what today's video is all about. These Australian Labradoodle puppies are 2 weeks old, and that's typically when we start to see their eyes open. So in today's video, we are going to discover if anybody has their eyes open, give you an update on what else the puppies have been doing this week, update you on Mama Joya, and talk a little bit about vets, trainers, and grooming. Hi, I'm Claire from Van Isle Labradoodles, and our Jingle Paws puppies have turned 2 weeks old today. And look how much bigger they are. I can hardly fit in here now with all 8 of them and Mama Joya. When they were first born, they took up such a small amount of space. It's just amazing how much they grow in a period of just 14 days and how much they change overall. So while the puppies aren't seeming to really do anything for the first 14 days, where they just sit here and they eat and they sleep, and that's really basically all they do. If you watch right now while I'm talking, you'll see that they're going to be jerking around every now and then. So sometimes we just get little movements, like you can see back here, just a little bit going on. And then other times you see great big jerks, like they're really maybe having quite a wild dream. Well, what they're really doing is developing muscle tone and muscle strength. Because puppies sleep about 95% of the day, nature has devised a way for them to exercise while they're sleeping. I don't know why she couldn't have figured that out for people. Would have made life much better. However, it only works with puppies. So when you see them twitching and jerking like that, what's really happening is they're moving, they're flexing their muscles, they're having impulses that makes them do these little twitches, and that's what gets their muscles stronger and more toned, even while they're just doing basically nothing besides sleeping. So that's what that's all about, really. It doesn't have anything to do with dreams or that sort of thing. Now, I'm going to say that I do believe that there are times when puppies are dreaming, because sometimes when you watch them when they're sleeping, you'll see their mouths moving. Their tongues will come out a bit. They'll go in that funnel shape that they use to nurse. And I'm sure that the reason that's happening is because they are thinking about the next time they're going to get to nurse at Mama Joya's milk bar. I can't believe that they would be doing that otherwise. But hey, who knows? It's hard to know what anybody dreams. I know when I dream, I generally think, oh yeah, I'm going to tell Reynold about that. And then as soon as I'm up, I can't remember a thing about it. So I'm sure it's quite similar for all mammals. So that's what they're doing. Other than that, for these first 2 weeks, they really aren't doing anything. Their whole job is to grow and to get bigger and stronger, so that next week when their ears start to open up, they'll also start tottering around on all fours. And although they won't be very steady and you'll see lots of funny little crashes, they will be able to negotiate things much better. And it may even be when we do our next update for week 3 that we're no longer in the box here. We have 8 good-sized puppies here, and if it gets too crowded and there's not enough real estate for them to actually continue to develop and get stronger in terms of their muscles, then we will move them into the doodle den even if their ears aren't open. So what we'd like to do is to keep them in here until their ears and eyes are both open. I like them to be fully aware of their surroundings when we make that move. I like them to stay somewhere that's very confined, cozy, and limits their exposure to stimuli, because that's what this period is all about. Puppies are born with their eyes and ears sealed shut because their nervous systems are not ready to take on all this external stimuli of the world. It would be too much for them. So I like to do everything as close to natural as possible, follow the lead that nature gives us, and make sure that we do what seems to be appropriate for the stage of development that the puppies are at. Now, having said all of that, you do have to take different things into consideration. So, for example, if they are trying to get up and move around and develop that strength and coordination, we need to be able to accommodate that. That, in my mind, is more important than worrying about whether their ears are open or only partially open at the 3-week mark. Now that we're getting some eyes opening, what does that mean for a puppy? Well, can you imagine what it must be like? You spent your entire life not seeing or hearing anything. The world's been completely dark and quiet. And all of a sudden, there's all this stuff that you can see. And it must be just so kind of confusing, overwhelming, and it must be totally surprising to go from utter darkness to things. I can't quite imagine how much that must be to process as a small infant. But when the puppies open their eyes, just what do they see? Well, not much. Mostly they see blobs. They are seeing everything is blurry rather. They aren't able to particularly focus well at this point. A dog's eyesight is never as good as ours in terms of the acuity of their vision. They also don't see the whole spectrum of colors that we do. But it's incorrect that they only see black and white. They do see colors. And there's just some colors they don't see well. And one of the funny things is orange is a color. Orange and red are colors they don't perceive well. And lots of dog toys are made in fluorescent orange, bright red, and you throw, if it's a ball, you throw it on your lawn and you wonder, what the heck? This dog is running around in circles with their nose to the ground, walking right by the ball. How can they not see it? Well, it's because they can't see orange or red. The ball is invisible to them on the grass. The grass and the ball read the same color. So that's why you see dogs appearing to be kind of not too bright in terms of finding their ball when it's on the lawn. So just something to keep in mind. Don't think your dog is silly. Don't think they're blind. Just realize that they're not able to appreciate the contrasting colors between the bright red and orange of the ball and the green of your grass. So I think the only reason the balls are made in those colors are for us to be able to find it when we throw up our hands and go, oh my goodness, they're never going to find this silly ball, and we walk over and get it and throw it for them. Is that right, Joya? Do you like balls? Yes, thank you for the kiss. So when they see us now, at this point where they're just opening their eyes and they've only had them open for a day or two, they're starting to have the ability to distinguish this blob is the milk bar, this blob is the one who picks us up and does weird things with us. This blob provides all sorts of love and nutrition. This blob provides love, but a lot of other things we're not too sure about. So they are able to start to distinguish the blobs. The other thing they're going to do is how they will recognize that this is Mom and this is Claire is, of course, I don't smell the same as Joya. At least I hope I don't smell the same as Joya. Not that you don't smell wonderful, my love. Yes, you smell beautiful. Of course you do. Yes, you do. But they're recognizing already how to put together what their nose tells them and their eyes tell them. So that's a lot going on for a small puppy at only 14 days. And then, of course, the next step will be their ears will open and they'll start to recognize one another's sounds, Mama Joya's sounds, and they'll be able to distinguish my voice from Reynolds and from Taylor's. They'll also be able to distinguish and separate me, Reynolds, and Taylor. Those are the only 3 people they're interacting with at this point. Joya's guardian mom is in Mexico, so she hasn't been here to see the puppies, but when she does come back and sees them, they'll be much farther along in terms of their development, but then they'll be able to recognize that she's someone that they don't see as regularly. Sound is really important to puppies, just like scent is. So we know that up until now, their noses are giving them all their information. Now they're starting to get a bit more from their eyes. But you can't believe dogs' memories as it's associated with sound. When we first started doing our YouTube videos, we had some puppies who had not seen us for upwards of 10 years and more. And when our families played the videos on their televisions, we had our dogs running straight to the TV, crying, trying to figure out where I was. They remembered my voice without any trouble, even after more than a 10-year absence. It's the same as if you're gone and you come back and your puppy sees you, even if you're like out for a little bit during the day. Quite often if one of us is outside and we come back in the front door, Ripple and Spirit will bark at us as if they've never seen us before, and it's a stranger danger alert. And then they're, oh yeah, right, it's mom or it's dad. Oh, I'm so embarrassed. But as soon as it's not because they can recognize us all of a sudden by sight, but it's because they've got our scent or they hear our voice. Because usually one or the other of us says, oh, for goodness sakes, you guys, it's me. What are you doing? And then they're, oh yeah, whoops. So vision is never the same to your puppy as it is to us. But puppies do use their eyes in order to determine your body language. They get so much information from watching your body. So a couple of tips for when you are getting ready for bringing your puppy home. Practice putting yourself in an S position. When you have your body twisted, that's how dogs communicate to one another that I'm no threat. And you'll see when I'm doing this, I'm automatically lowering my eyes. That's another way that dogs tell one another they aren't a threat. They don't look at each other and establish strong eye contact. In dog world, that's a sign of aggression. If I'm meeting Joya, so here we are, Joya and I are going to interact. We're going to look at each other like this. See how she's even doing it? We're going to look over each other's shoulders, have brief eye contact, look the other way. I'm going to look down, do this. And as soon as I do that, see how she comes to me? And she's immediately wanting to interact because I've given her the signal that, hey, let's be friends. Yeah, and we always smile at our dogs as I'm smiling at her right now. Oh, she's a grown-up, so that's okay. If she was a puppy, that's a sign of, I'm gonna bite you. So you have to really try to think of what you're projecting to your young puppy who doesn't have the advantage of Joya's years of understanding that when I smile, it's a good thing. And many dogs, including Joya, smile back. Joya gives me smiles all the time. Spirit smiles at me constantly. Ripple never smiles. Just different personalities. Not every dog smiles. Many dogs, though, will mimic. And you'll see if you're watching Joya right now, you'll see her eyes are traveling all around. It's not because she's bored and she's looking for things. It's because she's telling me, hey, I'm here. I want to be friends. I love you. That's how we communicate that. So take real stock of your body language and your facial expressions in particular. Practice to have a soft face with your eyes that are down a little bit of a Princess Diana look, if you will. Soft body movements. When you first approach a new dog that you don't know or a puppy, you want to make yourself small so that you aren't intimidating because of course you're way bigger than any dog, generally speaking. We're not talking about Great Pyrenees here. We're talking about mini Australian Labradoodles. So you want to make yourself smaller, do this little S thing, and make yourself as inoffensive as possible. And that goes along with your tone of voice, because we were talking about how audio signals are very important to puppies as well. But your whole face is going to tell them so much. I can be sitting here making a video for you today and smiling and looking like I'm really happy, when in actuality, maybe there's something terrible that's just happened in my life, something I'm really upset about. And I tell you, every single one of these dogs will not be fooled. You may be by watching the video, but the dogs will not be. They'll be on high alert, especially Spirit, who knows me the best, and Ripple, and they'll be watching in here. They'll be looking at me, they'll be seeing what I'm doing, and they'll be going, something's up with Mom. Because they see things that we never do, because we've closed off our ability to communicate that way because we use our language all the time. We don't look as much for all the other small subtleties. We often call people intuitive. And when we do that, it's usually because they're able to read body language better than most of us can. So just some tips about that. Now, the other thing I wanted to just touch on very quickly for our families is you're going to be getting a video coming up this week on choosing a vet, a groomer, and a trainer. These 3 people are key in your puppy's lives. You will want to be sure that you have someone for all 3 of these roles who is fully familiar with what an Australian Labradoodle is. You want, oh no, we had a rollover there. You want to make sure they know that an Australian Labradoodle is not a Labradoodle and is not an Aussie Doodle. And you, I'm sure, are already aware of that, but if you're not, an Aussie Doodle is an Australian Shepherd crossed with a Poodle. There is no Australian Shepherd to be found anywhere in these dogs' DNA or pedigrees. Australian Shepherds are extremely high energy dogs, very similar to a Border Collie in their temperament. They do not generally possess the qualities that we look for in terms of a good family dog because they require so much exercise. They need a job. They don't form a strong interpersonal relationship with people such as the Australian Labradoodle does. An Australian Labradoodle is a lab, a poodle, and a splash of spaniel. That's the original recipe. Your puppies that you have here have been 14 generations of Australian Labradoodle to Australian Labradoodle. So they are essentially what we would refer to as a purebred Australian Labradoodle. There are no infusions or mixes going on in the dog that you're going to get from Van Isle Labradoodles. We used to do infusions. We haven't done those for many years now. We leave that to the younger generation. So you want to make sure that your trainer, vet, and groomer understand and appreciate those nuances, because it makes a difference on how you train a puppy, how you groom them, and also how you provide medical care for them. So you'll get the video with some tips and tricks on how to go about choosing these 3 important people. The only caveat I give you on this is that video was made several years ago, pre-COVID, when you could pick and choose your vet. Nowadays, you are lucky if you can find a vet who will take you on. If you don't already have a vet and you're in this litter, please ensure that you start going about finding one right away. Your purchase contract does require that, or doesn't require, but does have you go to have your puppy examined by your own independent veterinarian within 3 days of taking your puppy home. And the reason we do that is because the things that are in the initial part of the warranty are going to show up within 3 days if they originated here with us. Once you take the puppy out the door, we no longer have any control over what's going on with the puppy, and then we can't be warranting them against certain things, only very minimal things. It's not the bulk of your health warranty. If you've got any questions about that, just feel free to email me if you're on the list, and I'll explain that further. So now, shall we do the peekaboos and see who is able to see us? Joya wants to come in. For Joya's update, you can see she's out of the box a little bit more regularly. She's not nursing them all the time, as you can see. She's got a great appetite. We've moved past the phase where she wants me to hand feed her all the time. Now I can't put the food down fast enough. She's eating about 4.5 times as much as she normally eats. So the groceries are flying out the door here, and she's just enjoying everything very nicely. So let's go through the puppies in birth order as we always do. It's going to start off with Blue Collar Boy, and Blue Collar is, I think, over here. That our upside down puppy. Excuse me, kids. Now you'll see that I'm not quite, oh no, that's silver, sorry. I'm not quite as concerned, there's blue, about when I'm picking them up and giving them all sorts of warning. They're big enough now, they're used to being handled multiple times a day, that they're very accustomed to having somebody's hands on them and them going up in the air. And now that they're used to that, then we don't have to baby them quite so much. So this is Blue Collar Boy, and you can see, nope, he's not playing. He's still doing hide and seek and keeping his eyes sealed shut. He's not going to show them to us yet. He says, no, thank you. I'm not quite prepared for the world yet. And it doesn't look like he's going to open them, I would say, in the next 24 hours. Maybe Thursday. By the weekend, for sure, he'll have them open. When do we worry? We only worry if their eyes aren't open by day 18. Or even day 21, then we take a look and see, well, is there something crusty on them? Do we need to go and see the vet? I prefer to have my vet unseal any slow opening eyes just in case there's anything going on and I don't have what I need to keep the eyes safe. Sometimes there's solutions that have to be put into their eyes when they first open them just to protect everything, and I don't have all of those things here with me. So Mr. Blue Collar does not have any eyes to share, and Mr. Blue Collar is 834 grams. He's the second biggest this week. I got you. And next, of course, now they're all going to go eat, and they're all going to get mad at me because I'm taking them away from the milk bar so I can share their update with you. That's Pink, that's over there. Here's Red over here. Red is our next contestant on the Peekaboo Labradoodle game. This little girl, she says, yeah, I'm sharing my eyes with you. Look at me. I have beautiful big blue eyes. Now, all the puppies have blue eyes. All puppies are born with blue eyes, all Australian Labradoodle puppies. Their blue eyes will not stay blue. All these puppies will have dark chocolate eyes wherever they have dark chocolate coloring around their eyes, or they'll have hazel eyes if they have white around their eyes. So Miss Red Collar Girl here, she'll have eyes that look very similar to Joya's. Beautiful, beautiful. Joya's are more of a light, almost amber brown as opposed to a dark, dark brown. There we go, sorry. And Miss Red is the biggest puppy in the litter this week at a whopping 857 grams. And she's getting quite the cleanup here from Mom. There we go. I need to be able to see my book here, guys. You're not being cooperative today. Then we have Green Collar Boy, who's right here in front of me. Oh, can I just have a paper towel, please, Reynolds? We just got a puppy pee here that we're just going to do a quick little mop up on so that we don't get everybody walking all through it. You'll see that Red Collar Girl here. She and Yellow, they are doing already really well, getting up on all fours and moving around. And this is why I'm pretty sure that next week we are going to be coming to you live and in person from the Doodle Den. I think this is the last week that these guys are going to be staying here. All right, back to our hide and seek game here, guys. Yeah, what's going on? No more peeing. That's the other reason, is once they start peeing everywhere, then we don't want them sitting in pee all the time. Here's Mr. Green, and he too says, hi, peekaboo, here I am, showing you my pretty eyes. Oh, you gotta open the back up, buddy. There we go. Mr. Green is our smallest puppy. So as often happens, we go from the biggest to the smallest. And Mr. Green is 692 grams. And he was the first puppy to open his eyes. So it doesn't mean that you're going to do things faster just because you're the biggest one. No siree. Then we've got Orange Collar. Oh my goodness, Blue had a little crash there, a little roll job. Orange is over here. Come here, sweetheart. And Orange. And we have some more eyes. Yay! Look at all the pretty eyes we've got to show everybody today. Look at these beautiful puppies. And Mr. Orange is saying, yeah, here I am. I am looking at the world. Orange opened his eyes just moments after Green did, so they are pretty much tied in that position. And you see already that they're looking and scenting and finding me and giving what we call eye contact, even though that's not true eye contact, because there's no way that I'm coming across as anything other than a big blur. Mr. Orange is 785 grams. There you go, sweetie pie. Yeah, See, and this puppy is a pretty little phantom. I forgot to say what the pattern was there. Then we go pink collar girl. Pink collar girl's over here. You know, Pinky, right here. Hi, sweetheart. There we go. And this pretty girl, she has her eyes open too. Look at those eyes. Oh, such a pretty girl. And she has, really, you can see them so nicely against that chocolate when they're that bright blue color from when puppies are first opening their eyes. I'm just gonna move you over here so I can move my foot. And Miss Pink Collar Girl is 772 grams. And she's one of our chocolate parties. She's got this cute little poof of chocolate on her back that matches the 2 spots on either side of her head. Beautifully symmetrical, and she has that adorable, I have a solid white ear and I have a solid chocolate ear. Then we have yellow color. Yellow. Come on, yellow. Where are you, yellow? Goodness, these guys are moving around so much now that we have to readjust our spot all the time. Hello, yellow color. Hello. And this little guy, he is like Mr. Blue. He says, no, thank you. Not really interested in seeing the world. I'm keeping my eyes sealed shut. Again, with this guy, I don't think that they're going to open today or tomorrow. They'll be open by the weekend, I'm sure, but for now they're going to stay shut. And this is our other, he is also a chocolate party. He has a similar little circle in the middle of his back there, just as cute as can be. And yellow collar is 714 grams. Oh no, Joy is going to come in. Now we're going to have to reposition again. Can you fit there, Mom? Here we go. You find your spot. You find your spot. Then we have purple collar girl. Hi. Purple collar girl is our pretty little chocolate phantom lady, and she does have her eyes open, just starting to open, so you're not going to really see too much. I can just see them. They're just slits. They'll be open by the end of the day today, but they're just starting to open up. Are you going to help her open them? Are you going to teach her? Yes. And purple collar girl is 811 grams, and she is such a pretty little phantom girl. She looks a lot like Sumac, just not quite as much white on her face. And last but not least, we have silver collar. Yeah, where is Miss Silver? Here's silver collar. Hello, Silver. Hi-ho, Silver. Silver boy here. He does have his eyes open. He says, sure, I'll show you my eyes. I'll play peekaboo with you. I'm not going to open them really wide, but I do have them open. He just opened them this morning. Well, overnight he would have opened them. They weren't open when I went to bed, and now they are open. And Mr. Silver is 827 grams. So that's all the little kids. Look at how big those eyes are there on orange collar. Goodness gracious, there's a great shot of brand new puppy eyes. They just look so wide and, whoa, what is happening in my world when they first open? And I think that they're all hoping that Mama Joya comes back to feed them soon, because everybody's lining up expecting me to be the milk bar here. So we hope you enjoyed today's update. We really appreciate it when you take a moment and drop a comment into our video. It helps us a great deal with the algorithm. And plus, I really enjoy talking to you. We have a puppy that's going poop now, so I think it must be time to wind this video up and let Mama Joya come back in and look after her babies here. We hope that you'll join us again next week. And like I said, I'm pretty sure that for next week, we will be coming to you from the Doodle Den. Thank you so much for watching. Does I have a poop?